And we're joined on the phone today by the one and only Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, former member of Traffic, Dave Mason. He's got a new group out here called Dave Mason and the Quarantines. They released a new version of his song Feelin' All Right. Hey Dave, how you doing today?
Hi, Justin. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you.
Well, let's talk a bit about the new project you've got here, Dave Mason and the Quarantines. This is a collection of musicians, like a super group of super groups here.
Yeah. Um, well, just basically, obviously they're all uh, have their own careers and stars in their own rights, but they're friends. Mick Fleetwood and I have been friends for a long time. I was with Fleetwood Mac from '94 to '96, and the Doobie Brothers. We've, of course, done shows on and off for a number of years. Michael McDonald, I've got to know over the last few years, basically did some charity events in Maui, which basically all of these people have done. The same event on New Year's Eve there. And then Sammy, I just met this Christmas, and he had asked me if I would be part of his annual charity event that he does in San Francisco. But of course, this all came up, and everybody has had to put everything on hold. So I mean, it's just the the odd thing about it is that this would never have happened had it not been for this pandemic that we're going through. Strangely enough. So I thought, well, might be fun to do something with all these guys. So I called everybody up, see if they were up for it, and everybody was agreeable. And John McPhee was very instrumental in helping put the audio together with me on this. But basically, tracks were sent to everybody in their own homes, and they put their parts down, and everybody filmed themselves on an iPhone, and then a man named Rob Arthur put it all together from Nashville. I was actually in the video playing organ, and this came out better than it came out better than we all thought. Actually, it actually came out as if we were all there playing together. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And it was basically, I just did it just to just for fun, really, and just to put a little smile on everybody's faces, and that was basically the intent. So I think from the response I'm getting a lot, that achieved its purpose.
Definitely a very, very cool version of Feeling All Right. And, you know, Dave, you've been in a lot of recording studios in your lifetime. How do you feel about this process now where people can send tracks through the email and film themselves on their phone, and you've got a completed song here?
Um, you know, just a different way of doing the same thing, basically. I mean, nothing kind of replaces everybody being where they. I mean, if it wasn't for the pandemic and stuff, you'd be together doing this. But the fact of the matter is that the technology allows you to be able to do this, which is great.
With the success of this one, could we see more music from the Quarantines here coming up?
uh, I don't know about that. You know, everybody's kind of got their own project, stuff going on. I mean, I just got lucky with this, and it just happened to work out. So I don't know, to be honest with you. This was basically looked at as a one-time thing to do. I mean, I'm already getting requests for like, hey, we want to see this band live. So, you know, I so I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, so many bands have done their own covers of Feeling All Right. Is there one for you that you think is the best or your favorite that you've heard over the years?
Well, obviously the Cocker version. I mean, I think Joe's is the penultimate version. And if it hadn't been for Joe's version, all those many cover versions of which there are a lot by artists would never have happened. So I think for me, that's the one.
Well, Dave, you've popped up on so many classic songs, playing with Hendrix, Clapton, the Stones. What is that like for you, when you're still hearing these songs every day on the radio after all these years? I mean, I'm sure you were just recording with your friends one afternoon, but it winds up being such a huge part of, generations of people's lives.
Um, well, I mean, it was just part of what I was doing. What sort of, when you're actually there and you're going through it, it's you don't really. I mean, I knew they were great tracks when they were being done. As to the longevity and the effects, I mean, when you record, I mean, you hope you're going to appeal to a lot of people, and they're going to enjoy it and love it. But it's I got lucky. What can I say? I was in the right places at the right time, I guess. And it's I don't really think about it unless I'm being I like this unless I'm really doing interviews.
Well, was that scene at the time just small enough to where everyone was, popping in and out of each other's studios and could kind of just show up wherever? Was it that close knit back then?
Well, I think most of that stuff is all well, except for there's a couple of things, but Hendrix, the Stones, working with Eric and all that stuff. I mean, that was all when I was still in England, when living, when I was before I moved, and so it's much smaller circle of there. I mean, basically everybody being in London, everybody using basically the same studios. So that became somewhat a lot easier for that kind of thing to happen there. And then there's a few things that I did over here. Actually, listen to what the man said. Actually, was done in New Orleans. When I was doing a concert there, McCartney was down there recording, and then Phoebe Snow I did some stuff with. So there's some things that I did here. But the other stuff, mostly, like I said, in England, it obviously was not spread out like it is in the U.S.
Well, Dave, this is an odd question, but I got to ask you your memories of appearing in the film Skate Town, USA. Such a weird time.
Well, that was also oh gosh, what's his name's first movie? Patrick.
Swayze.
Yeah, I believe that's his first film. I don't know, some it was sort of. I was just approached to do it and finished up writing a theme song for it and finished up with some kind of a goofy scene. I mean, the whole thing is based in a roller rink. It's kind of a little odd.
Awesome. Dave, it's been an honor speaking with you, and the new song sounds great, and I'm hoping I can speak with you again sometime. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
And again, that was Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Dave Mason, and the new song from Dave Mason and the Quarantines, the new version of Feelin' All Right, is available now.